Hello students, in this video I am going to talk about the last subtopic of biotechnology principles and processes, and that is obtaining foreign gene products. In this chapter you studied about how recombinant DNA is formed. Once again we will recap it. It is formed by joining of DNA of two different organisms. We can refer to this diagram. This is the fragment of DNA which contains desired gene. When it is linked with the plasmid, recombinant DNA is formed. When the recombinant DNA is introduced into the host cell, it starts multiplying. So here the aim of recombinant DNA technology is to get the desired protein. So it is very important that the gene which has been introduced into the host cell, it should express itself. Any protein encoding gene, when it is expressed in the heterologous host, it is called recombinant protein. For example, human insulin gene, it is get expressed in the E. coli. So E. coli here, it is heterologous host, and the protein which is formed here is called recombinant protein. For expression of foreign gene, it is important to maintain the appropriate condition, and that only induce the expression of the protein. And this protein, desired protein, can be obtained on smaller scale or larger scale. For a smaller scale, the cells are grown in laboratory, and after that the culture is extracted and purified to get the desired protein. So this is on the smaller scale. If we want to get the desired protein on larger scale, bioreactors are used. What is bioreactor? Bioreactors are the vessels in which the raw material is biologically converted into useful products by using living cells, and these living cells can be bacterial cell, plant cell, animal cells, or their enzyme. And bioreactor, these are the two different types of bioreactors, and they provide optimum growth condition. For example, pH, temperature, substrate, oxygen, salt, so etc. So all the optimum condition for the growth is provided by the bioreactors, and they can process up to 100 liters to 1000 liters. There are two types of bioreactors. The one is simple stirred tank reactor, and the other type is sparge stirred tank bioreactor. So first we will study about what is simple stirred tank bioreactor. This bioreactor, it is cylindrical in shape and it has a round base. This round base facilitates the mixing of bioreactor content, and there is a stirrer which helps in the mixing and the availability of oxygen throughout the bioreactor. Here the aseptic condition is maintained. Apart from this system, this bioreactor encompasses different types of system. For example, there it is surrounded by water jacket, and in the water jacket cool water flows. So that helps in the maintenance of the optimum temperature. If the bioreactor is getting heated, and it happens due to microbial activities, the heat is generated. So if the inside the bioreactor temperature is higher, then just to regulate the temperature, cold water flows through the water jacket and the temperature drops to the optimum level. If the temperature is down, then the hot water will be circulated in the water jacket, so the temperature of the bioreactor will be maintained. Just to check the pH of the bioreactor content, here the pH probe is there. Due to mixing and the stirring, foam is generated in the bioreactor. So there is a line through which the anti-foam agent can be poured into the bioreactor. So this will reduce the formation of foam, and here it is a sample port, and through which the small volume of culture is withdrawn periodically. So this was about the simple stirred tank bioreactor. And this is the another type, that is the sparge stirred tank bioreactor. And in this bioreactor, the sterile bubbles are sparse, and this increases the surface area for oxygen transfer. Bioreactors are often called fermenters. They are called so because fermentation process takes place inside the bioreactor. Usually fermentation refers to anaerobic respiration, where the glucose is converted into ethyl alcohol. But in case of bioreactors, the process, whether it is aerobic or anaerobic, they all are referred as fermentation process. Fermentation process is of two types: batch fermentation and continuous culture. Batch fermentation process is also known as closed system, and continuous culture is called open system. In batch fermentation process, the nutrient and the cells, they are closed in the reactor and can't be changed once the fermentation process starts. So example, if we want to add some nutrient, then it can't be added. Once the nutrients are utilized, the product is separated and the microorganisms which were used in the fermentation process, they are discarded, and the bioreactor is cleaned and it is ready for the next batch. So this is batch fermentation. Now about the continuous culture method, and this is also known as open system. In this system, that the used medium is removed from the one side and the fresh medium is added from the other side, and this will help the cells to stay at physiologically active phase, means exponential phase, and in other words we can also say that there will be rapid multiplication of the cell. So as a result of this, there will be larger biomass, and that will, so due to this there will be high yield of desired protein. Though this continuous culture method is giving high yield of desired protein, but still it is not used. Instead of that, fed batch culture is used. So now we will see what is fed batch culture. In the fed batch method, the nutrients are supplied intermittently, and the purpose of this nutrient supply at the lower concentration is to regulate the growth of the cells to keep pace with the oxygen supply. And this culture method is used in the production of yeast cell in the baking industry, and it is also used in the production of penicillin. After formation of the products in bioreactor, the next step is downstreaming, which includes separation and purification. After separation and purification, the product is subjected to quality control testing and it is kept in suitable preservative. If it is a drug which can be used for therapeutic purpose, then it goes for clinical trial. Based on this biofermenter, here I am referring one question which has been asked in AIPMT Prelims 2011, and the question is: continuous addition of sugar in fed batch fermentation is done to. The options are degrade sewage, second produce methane, third is obtain antibiotics, fourth purify enzymes, and the answer is obtain antibiotics. So you have learned here that the fed batch culture, it is used for the production of antibiotic, that is penicillin. So this was all about the obtaining foreign gene products. In the next video, I will start with the biotechnology and its application.